Good afternoon again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilly Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. As I'm making my very expensive but well worth it actual ramen from Korea, I'm going to make it quick and just jump right into it, alright? In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Read the article, share on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually sees through with the threat. Also included in there, the Ozark's first article in regards to the Agape boarding school, now known as Stone for Help boarding school situation. This is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called trouble meal teens that has and pending, folks, over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor, who still lives on the premises with full access to the boys up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries to actually do his job and protect the kids of this state. And excuse me, sorry, allergies, folks. They're bad this year. And you've got a governor. I don't know what to tell you about our governor, but not even an intervention is going to help that old boy. So please send help. Share that article on all your social media. Also included in there, all the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masamba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the other present self-explanatory Change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, alright? This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they're watching this, very obviously parental supervision is very much advised, alright? Alright, now square your shoulders. Trigger warning, folks. We are about to once again descend into the mad ravings of Dr. Matthew Israel. Mad ravings of the lunatic mind, of Matthew Israel. You're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience and lies, abuse and torture apologencia, all from a man with a massive ego and even larger God complex. So, folks, prepare yourselves for the stupid. Now, remember, we're going through a parental testimony for how great the JRC is, while we continue to not address the elephant in the room as to, these behaviors are not just simply coming out of nowhere. But I digress. Let's continue where we left off, shall we? A few days went by, and she had one more, and from that point on, she had an application once every 3 months. 2 months, and they were usually very severe behaviors. Is that what they told you? I don't know if anyone's ever told you, man, but people lie. Especially the JRC. Am I going to believe a parent who was barely there, except for short, brief visits in which the child is very carefully threatened to show the parents what they wanted them to see? Or am I going to believe an unannounced visit by the New York State Department of Special Education? Because I'm going to go with the unannounced visit, where they went and saw what the JRC didn't want them to see. I didn't allow them to use it for any other type of behavior. You better ask Cheryl McCollins about the JRC complying with your requests, because it's garbage. Ask her. Go ahead. As Cat Williams would say, don't worry, I'll wait. That contradicts prior testimony gesturing about someone behind him. They are fine with it. They have not asked me to take her out of there. Because of that, now she gets maybe one every year, 6 months. I mean, it's been a long, long time. I can't even recall. She lives at home with us. At home, she doesn't wear the GED. It's there in the house, and I remind her that if I see any antecedents, you're going to have to wear the GED. You fucking bastard. Trigger warning cursing. You can't be a parent. You're supposed to be the adult. Your job is to take care of your kid. Your answer is to make her wear that thing. You threaten to torture her instead of getting her real help. Really? See, some people shouldn't be parents. This is my Exhibit A. And yeah, honey, I'm judging you. I'm very harshly judging you, and I'm not sorry. And do not, for the love of God, come on here and tell me that I don't understand. I've worked this field, buddy. Okay. I've seen the bars. I know the reality of parents. I am not unsympathetic. But the difference between them and you is, even in spite of how bad things were, they put in the work because they cared more about their child than themselves. Novel idea, isn't it? When a parent actually cares to get to the bottom of what's causing the behaviors so that steps can be made to get those minimized down to a baseline, instead of only caring about me, my, I want. Yeah. She's fine with it. She has to dress well to go to school. She takes really good care of herself. She's fine with it. I'm sure the abused kid who gets punched in the face is fine with it and completely agrees with why the father had to do it. You kidding? Are you kidding me? I know them well. My wife knows them very well. We've been able to go to a vacation in Florida every year for Virginia Beach, and we were able to go to the movies. We were able to go to dinner together. We have a life. Me, I. We can do this. We can do that. But you do not care what it's costing your child, so that you can have the life that you want. That is something I have had to confront in my own office, no less. And if you think I backed down, you don't know me very well. It's not about you and what you want. It should be about your child. the fact that you are willing to allow her to be tortured and then threaten her with torture at home so you can get the ideal family life you pictured back in middle school without caring with the price that she, not you, but she has to pay so that you get to live out your fantasy life. Says a lot, doesn't it? Speaks volumes, doesn't it? And she lives with us, and that's the way I want it. My biggest fear is that we'll lose all of this ground we've made, that she might return to those horrible days when she was hurting herself so badly because you refuse to use logic. You refuse to address what's causing the behaviors. You're refusing to do the work. She knocked out my wife a couple of times with headbutts. This was before the GED. Here we go again. Am I unsympathetic as someone who was a victim, as well as the person with the disability? I am not unsympathetic. I have a lifetime of trauma and horrible, horrible nightmare-fueled memories that I have to deal with every single day of my life. But the answer to this is not torture. Okay? And if she were to go back to that stage, it would just a matter of time before we have to put her in an institution or she wouldn't be able to live with us. So, I really know there's a lot of emotion in all of this. A lot of the articles have been written. I spoke one time to a reporter all about my daughter in the Boston Globe, and the only thing they did was post torture versus love. Not one word about what I told them about my daughter was in that article. You can't believe everything you read. Oh, here we go. We're going to blame us again. I'm confronting you word for word, Father. Word for word. You know what I hear? Me, me, me. I want. I need. I want. Not what she wants. Oh, but she's fine with it. You threaten her with that GED device. Do you really think that she's going to tell you anything that you don't want to hear? That's what people who be tortured do. That's why torture is not used as a way to extract information anymore, because we all know that under torture, people will tell you whatever they need to tell you to get it to stop. This is the reality. You are more concerned with yourself and what you want than what is good for your daughter. You don't care about the price that she has paid, that you are still forcing her to pay. You only care about the results. You're selfish. And you're being self-righteous right here. Generations of people with disabilities have had to pay the price because of parents like this. I say no more. Not one more generation that has to pay the price because of parents who I want, I need, I get to live. When you become a parent, it is not about you. There's a public outcry against this and exaggerations about what they are doing at the school. It's not an exaggeration, sir. There is a video. I don't know if you watched it, but it is free on YouTube. It's not an exaggeration. It is you refusing to see the reality because you want to live in your fantasy world while your daughter pays the price. That's the facts. Oh, for God's sake, here we go. And I'm not a crazy person or an uninformed person. Yes, sir, you are. You are what I like to call the willfully ignorant. And nothing pisses me off more than the willfully ignorant. You won't listen to us. You won't even listen to New York. You refuse to listen. You don't want to be informed. You want to live in your happy little bubble because now you got your ideal family. You don't care that she's the one who has to pay the price, do you? You don't care about the trauma that you allow to continue to go on. You don't care about the fear in her heart every time you threaten to put that device back on her. I have no time for parents like you. I am an accountant, and I also am an ordained deacon with the Archdiocese of Boston. I work very closely with the Cardinal Sean O'Malley. I studied psychology when I was in school, and all of this doesn't mean anything. What means something is that I have a daughter who has a life now. Does she? Was this what she wanted? Was it? Or was it what you wanted? And you don't care what price she pays so you can live your ideal life. I read all of this, sir. And you know what I see? A selfish, self-centered man who justifies this to himself because she's violent. You don't understand. We were in terror. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because I've worked with those parents. I am not cold-hearted. I've seen the bruises. I've seen the bars on the doors. I do have a heart, sir. But do you know the difference between those parents and you? No matter how bad it got, it was never about them. That's the difference. These parents didn't feel that their child should have to pay the price of them getting the instant results they wanted. They cared more about their child's life and their future than their own. Those parents put in the work. They got results. Not the instant results that leads to meltdown, and I hate to say it, suicide. There's a reason why anybody above 30 who's actually autistic is considered ancient. They put in the work. The kids put in the work. The quality of their child's life meant more than their own. That's being a parent. That's putting your child above yourself. More people should learn a few things about it. We're going to close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.